Howdy, I'm John Richmond, and I'm the inventor of the Sluice Industries GOLDROP gold and pay dirt separating processor. Today's video, I'll be demonstrating a new innovation I've been working with in order to extract the very tiniest of gold and dense materials. This is the magnet sluice. In the bottom of this sluice, I have it lined with a magnet bottom, which is smooth. I have 3 dams inside, of which then I fill the sluice with magnetite. As the discharge is flowing out of the GOLDROP and into the tailings bucket, all of the tailings are drug across the magnetite. Magnetite acts like quicksand to the densest of the material that's still inside the flow of the debris. So we'll be giving you a demonstration of how this works. To demonstrate my innovation, I have purchased 7 bags of this Nome sand from Goldbay. This sand here contains 1 gram of gold. So what we'll do is process this dirt, classify it through a 100 mesh screen and a 35 mesh screen, and then process each classification. Now we'll classify the sand through the 35 mesh screen and the 100 mesh screen. They're both nested together, so everything will happen at once. This is how the sand classified out. This here is our plus 35 mesh material. A little bit of gravel in there. I'll reprocess this through a 2mm screen to get out the bigger gravel. And then this is our 35 mesh to 100 mesh. And last but not least, this is our minus 100 material. Pretty dusty, no doubt about it. So now we'll process these 3 sizes through the GOLDROP and extract our gold. This is the magnet sluice. What I do, I take magnetite, and just line the sluice with the magnetite, and actually get a little bit thicker up there at the dam. So now we're all set to capture fine material that escapes the GOLDROP. First, we'll set the drop water setting at about 0.5 gallons a minute. That'll be plenty to support the dirt in the trap. We'll start out with the minus 100 material, see what small flour gold we get out of it. So to begin, I'll just kind of wash in a little bit of the dirt here so we can set the trap. Now we'll go ahead and reduce the drop water flow from 0.5 and allow the dirt to drop down into the drop tube and bring it down to where it just kind of comes right to the top of where the water enters in, right about there, or even a little bit more down, because you don't need to be afraid about getting a little bit of mineral into the jar. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now let's turn up, well, it's this valve here. This is the mixing valve. And we'll just introduce a little flow into it there too. Well, actually, let's see how the dirt does just at that setting itself. So right now, the only water entering into the GOLDROP is this water flow here. And on the meter, that's 0.15 gallons per minute. Now I'll go ahead and wash the dirt into the GOLDROP. Okay, the pan is now empty. Everything's in the trap. Now we'll see what tiny gold is in the jar. We'll close the valve. Well, first we'll increase the flow on the drop up to about 0.5 again to keep the dirt up into the trap. That way it won't settle out and get caught in the valve or drop into the jar. So now that you have the dirt suspended up into the trap, now we'll close the valve and remove the jar. And see what gold fell in. Well, not much gold in the 100 mesh. But there it is. So we'll go ahead and process now the next class up, which would be the 100 to 35 mesh. Go ahead and wash a little bit of this 35 mesh in so we can set the drop. Now we'll go ahead and set the drop water, bring down the dirt into the drop tube. And let's see. I'm saying that's probably looking okay. Maybe just a little bit less. Okay, well that's our setting there. And it appears to be about 0.15, just like the 100 mesh was. So, now that we got that set, we'll go ahead and start processing. You can see we got really good disturbance in the trap. material moving around pretty good. Okay, now we're feeding the dirt into the funnel. Okay, all that dirt is into the gold drop. Looks like a majority of our gold is definitely falling out. Sparkly gold in there. Falling down into the jar. Now you can see how slow the tailings run across the magnetite. It's a very gentle flow. Gives it plenty of time for the dense material to drop into the magnetite. Now it's time to see what gold we have in the jar. Go ahead and turn up the drop water here to keep the dirt up in the trap. Close the valve. Undo the jar. Let's see what we got. Well, we got a lot of black, that's for sure. Kind of expected that. Okay, let's see what we got here. Well, say a lot of black sand. What we'll do now is I'll take it over to the Spin-It-Off in order to remove the magnetite. So what I do is I use the Spin-It-Off and use it just kind of over the top of the dirt, and it'll just pick out the magnetite right up off the bottom. The magnet's so powerful. See what it does? It just kind of rotates around and picks up the magnetite. The magnetite kind of flips end over end, prevents it from grabbing the gold. Okay, so now we have mineral and gold. Let's see what we can do about cleaning this up. Boy, that's some very dense stuff, no doubt about it. So there's quite a bit of gold in there, that's for darn sure though. Okay, well, I'm gonna run this back through the GOLDROP and see if I can get rid of some of this other extraneous material. Now I'll go ahead and wash in the concentrates here in order to separate the gold from the mineral. Okay, we're washed in. Oh yeah, you can see the gold is in violent swirl there. So now we'll just turn down the drop water just to allow the gold to drop in. Okay, that's 0.3 there. That looks like it's doing a pretty good job of separating. So we'll let that percolate for a little while and reclaim our gold. Now that's set down to 0.25 now. Now we'll see how clean the gold got. Go ahead and increase the flow, get the dirt up in the trap, close the valve. Ah yes, much, much cleaner. And there's our gold. So now what I'll do is I'll run the last batch, which is the largest size, plus 35 mesh, and we'll see what additional gold we get. Before we run the final class, we'll go ahead and put the jar on by filling it with water, screwing it into its base, and then opening the valve, releasing the air in the jar. And now we can start processing. Now go ahead and wash in a little bit of the gravel so we can set the drop water. Well, we got a pretty good disturbance going on there. This valve here is set about halfway open. So now we'll bring the drop water down and allow You can already see gold falling out, and allow the dirt to come down into the drop tube. See, right now I'm at 0.35. We'll let some of those heavier rocks drop in too. So that looks pretty good. We're at, just at right at 0.3 gallons per minute. So we'll go ahead and process the rest of this dirt right now. Okay, the pan is empty. And everything's washed out of the funnel. Oh yeah, we have gold dropping. Well, we get that about a 5-minute percolate and see what we get. Now we'll take a look and see what's in the jar. So we'll go ahead and increase the drop water. Close the valve. And dump the jar. Oh yeah. There's the gold. Now bring it down to this wood end here. Gotta shake that mineral down. Well, you can see there's the gold. This was out of the plus 35 mesh. So now we'll go ahead and take a look what's in the magnetite, in the magnet sluice. Now it's time to empty the magnet sluice of all the magnetite that's stuck inside here, that piled up, with whatever hope I find escaped the gold drop here, plus some maybe different stuff too. So we'll scrape that into the pan here. Okay, now we'll see what we can find in here. I'll fluidize this pan of dirt now. Get it full of water. I shake it around and get whatever heavy's to the bottom. Then I'll spin it off to remove the magnetite. collect the magnetite to fill the sluice tank. Get some more water in here. Fluidize this some more. So basically now we've got pretty much just mineral in the pan. There's a big blob of it. That took out quite a bit. But what's left in here now is just purely non-magnetic material. Just like that. This is the concentrate that was in the sluice minus the magnetite. So this is where the design of the gold claw pan comes in. So what I do is I introduce it and then fluidize the pan. Kind of a gentle circular motion, make it go. And then the design of the pan is it has these really deep riffles here on the back side. Is that as you're fluidizing, now you're tipping and relieving all of that overburden over the side. Just kind of shake it around and pour it off. So you get kind of vertical. So now what you've got is basically the most dense material in the pan. So now you just submerge the front end and shake off the back end, wash it off in the water. So now what you have left in the pan is black sand and some larger mineral on top. So now you just fluidize the heck out of it and shake it around, and then just come over horizontal rather a little bit, and just kind of shake off the overburden here and watch. Make sure you're not losing any gold. Oh, there's gold right there. So basically let's back off again here. And that's all mineral. Oh, I saw a couple of gold jump over. So anyway, now, again, this is where you use the pan. Now we're going to do another trip across the, spin it off real quick, just to make sure it's all gone. Yep, definitely reduce the amount there. So now I'll just try to use the pan to wash away the black sand overburden and reveal what's under the black sand there. Well, there's gold. There's that gold ore. That's that yellow colored dirt. How do I get this? There we go. Here, let's see if I can get closer here. There we go. You can see there's a few nuggets down there. I don't know if you can call them nuggets, but there they are. And a little bit of flour along the edge there. See if I can get closer. So anyway, the rest of this is just kind of mineral here. Except for this is where that gold ore kind of comes in. This is what I've been kind of finding in all the different pay dirts I've been running. So there we go. I already took out the magnetite. So now this is the overburden. So now I'm going to go ahead and reduce this down and we'll see what kind of gold, because this was at the top of the sluice, catching directly what was coming out of the discharge on the GOLDROP. So, good and fluidized, get it underwater. Okay. Already see some of the gold. Here, I'll show you this before we do a final. See that cut in the ripples right there on the dump. So let's go ahead and finish off here. Just very gently start pouring off the mineral over the front and just watch for the gold. Get to that point, it'll probably refluidize, gather up those dense particles down at the bottom again, and then come back forward. See the gold there? It's collecting in those ripples at the bottom. This is the loss from the GOLDROP, but captured by the magnet sluice. So let me try something here. Get a little closer maybe. Oh shoot, the sun went away. Oh, here it comes. Anyway, you see the flower gold caught in the riffles too. So there's the balance of what escaped, and now we'll do basically a cleanup of everything, add it up, and see if I recovered 7 grams. Here's our final weight of what was recovered out of that almost impossible Nome sand, which there was 1 gram in each bag. So let's see what we got. $7 grams. By golly. That's pretty amazing there. I recovered 100% of what I bought. So I'm really pleased. And recovering that out of the almost impossible to pan Nome sand is quite satisfying. So knowing that the GOLDROP does such a remarkable job. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for being interested. Sluice Goose GOLDROP, www.sluicegoosindustries.com.